boiling point. The Great Droughts by the mid-2040s, severe climate shifts altered global weather patterns. The equatorial regions faced unprecedented droughts, while sea level rise displaced millions in coastal cities. The world didn't divide along ideological lines like capitalism versus communism. It divided into the upstream nations, those controlling freshwater sources, and high ground, and the downstream nations, those facing desertification and flooding. Water became known as blue gold, surpassing oil as the world's most valuable commodity. Flashpoint. The river blockade, the inciting incident, occurred in Asia. A major geopolitical superpower, suffering from its own internal agricultural crisis, completed a massive series of automated dams on the Tibetan Plateau. This effectively choked off the water supply to 3 downstream nations, threatening over 1 billion people with immediate famine. Diplomatic talks broke down when the downstream nations, backed by rival superpowers who relied on their cheap manufacturing, demanded the dams be opened. When a covert ops team destroyed one of the primary dams, causing catastrophic flooding, the proxy war officially became a global conflict. The tactics, whether warfare and mercenaries. The war was fought using tactics that the 20th century could never have anticipated. Engineering sabotage, nations began weaponizing the weather. Cloud stealing became a reality, where countries deployed massive fleets of atmospheric drones to seed clouds and force rain over their own territories before the storm systems could reach their enemies. Corporate armies, because traditional militaries were bogged down guarding their own borders from climate refugees. Mega corporations that owned massive desalination plants and agricultural domes hired private military contractors to fight on their behalf. Targeted infrastructure strikes. Nuclear weapons remained in their silos. Destroying the planet entirely served no one's interest. Instead, hypersonic missiles were used exclusively to target water purification centers, vertical farms, and energy grids. The tipping point. The breadbasket collapsed. The war raged for 4 grueling years, not in trenches, but in a slow, suffocating squeeze of resources. The turning point was an unintended consequence of the geoengineering wars. A sudden, unnatural, deep freeze that wiped out the harvest in the Northern Hemisphere's last remaining breadbaskets. Suddenly, even the wealthy, heavily armed upstream nations faced mass starvation. The war had literally disrupted the Earth's jet stream. The aftermath. The Aquifer Accords, with total ecological collapse imminent. A ceasefire was forced not by victory, but by mutual survival. The remaining global leaders signed the Aquifer Accords. Treaty mandated that all freshwater bodies, major rivers, and subterranean aquifers were no longer the property of individual nations, but heavily guarded global commons. National borders became less important than watershed zones. The world entered a tense, heavily regulated peace, haunted by the knowledge that they had pushed the planet to the absolute brink for a drop of water.